like a boss right now. Talk I'm the man right now. Oh, yeah. Feel like the man right now. Your girl on my line right now. Oh, yeah. Shorty ought to been my, me. Oh, yeah. She love me in the gray sweatpants. You never left, yeah. Feeling like a boss, I done made it. Get so like a spaceship. I swear my life is amazing. Blowing money, no hesitation. Up, downs, no basic. I know these be hating, but that's what made me feel like in the real life. Dripping all the sauce in the good life. You shine, I shine, and ain't nobody gonna take mine. I just wanna be a boss. I will never ever fall. I woke up and I'm feeling like a boss right now. I'm gonna hold it down, I swear. I roll up and I'm smacked.
This is Madden 19. I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got a terrific matchup on tap between the Atlanta Falcons and the Washington Redskins. With that, let's get on up to FedEx Field near Washington. Standing by for the call of this one, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
And, Coach, we find ourselves due east from our nation's capital at FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland. Just a few moments ago, it was the Redskin defense being introduced, and the largest cheers went for their Pro Bowl quarterback, Josh Norman, as he and his guys get set to do battle with Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we look at this Redskin team as they enter play here. They've been the talk of the NFL so far. 9 wins in their first 9 games.
And some people subscribe to the theory that a loss might not be the worst thing for them. They've had it easy all year long. How would they do handling adversity?
Meanwhile, for the visiting Falcons, they had a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Their head coach has got to believe it in themselves. They've won 7 of their last 9 games now. Smith and the Redskins will come up now 1st and 10. Darius Geis, his first carry of the game, takes it to the 26, just a 1-yard gain.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
A good run as he works his way for 9 that time, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and just a few inches. Geis. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. Defense had a chance to get off the field here on the opening drive, couldn't do it.
I know that we go into these meetings with coaches, and sometimes maybe we can get, a little bit numb, because they're always going to talk about how important 3rd down is, aren't they? Offense and defense. In this case, one capitalized, and the other, as you said, had a chance to get off the field and didn't get it done. Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here, because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. And some room to roll now. And a good burst there gets him 7 up to midfield.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing him further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
They'll try and get it with Geis. And he gets it down to the 48, enough for the first. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
Well, that was big right there, because they're in the bottom 5 in the league in converting on 3rd down. They needed that pickup in a big way.
There were 2 things they said they wanted to win in this game. One, the turnover battle, and the second, 3rd down conversions. So they got one there. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Here's Smith. He's going to rifle up. It's caught inside the 25. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down the 20. An excellent pickup of 34 yards.
Tell the truth, partner. You didn't think he was coming down with that one, did you? Come on, tell me the truth.
No, I didn't. I'll tell you what, though. A one-handed grab of that length. Talk about giving your team a little juice.
Oh, big time. I mean, everyone's going to be excited about that one, whether you're on the field or not. It permeates its way through the entire team, and I can't wait to see what they do on the next down.
Now Thompson, and he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading the play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Even after more than a decade in the league, Smith's still one to account for with his legs as he picks up a first.
These type of plays are backbreakers for a defense. They thought they had him hemmed in, thought they were going to get him on the ground with the pass rush, but were unable to do so. He gets away, picks up a big first down, and sets up 1st and goal inside the 10.
Geis, they'll try to run it. Flashed a nifty move, but they'll drop him at the 5-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
Into the end zone, Washington Redskins touchdown. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. Is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be fielded at the 6. Room here to run.
Well, you gave up the first touchdown of the game, but how about the response? Big time return. Now it's their chance to try and put points on the board.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. They'll run for the first time with Devontae Freeman. And not much running room. Down to the 32. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
They run. Devontae Freeman looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage.
And when the defense wins and gives up no yardage on a running play, that's something they can build on and carry themselves forward throughout the game.
A fake to Freeman. Now it's Ryan. And the Redskins do get to him. He goes down for a sack. Jonathan Allen. He's the one that gets him down. It'll be a loss of 5, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. The quarterback was hit.
And Hauschka's kick is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
And now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
And he'll take it forward for about 5 up to the 28-yard line.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And that is incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And now the punter, Tress Way, as he sends this one away. Now it's Crowder. Call it a 48-yard punt. Give them 9, though, on the return. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. Ryan will bring the Falcons up now 1st and 10, right at the 30. The drive will start with a carry by Devontae Freeman. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. They've got it 2nd and 4 to start things out. Off the play fake to Freeman. It's Ryan. Airing one out for Crowder. And they went for a big play through the air on 2nd down. Couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd.
Let's face it, perfection is something we all chase, whether it's playing this game or whatever we do. Hard to attain, but that's what they were searching for as that pass goes incomplete.
From the gun on 3rd down, Ryan. And that will be incomplete as well.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the #1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in, but I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, that's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we'd be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today.
Right.
So they've got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're #1 in their conference.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Smith. Now he's going to let it go deep left side. He's got a man. Complete.
Missed.
And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he takes this thing way down into Atlanta territory. Big yardage that time for the Redskins. 71 yards.
In our pregame meeting, all they talked about was keeping him hemmed in and wanting him to make his throws from the pocket because they knew he was pretty dangerous if he got outside, and he just showed it right there. Pretty good arm, too.
On 1st down, this is Geis. He's going to get 4 out of this as he's down to the 10-yard line. To throw on 2nd down is Smith. Flushed out right. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. 8 yards that time, able to take off, and the result is a 1st down.
And we have to give credit to him for buying time and extending the play. But you know, there's some really upset defenders on that one. They thought that they had him. Instead, he was coated in Teflon and got away.
To throw is Smith. And that is caught by the tight end Reed. Touchdown, Washington. Jordan Reed with touchdown number 12 on the year. And the Redskins find a way to stretch their lead. And he's such a talented tight end, just creates nightmarish tight matchups on the other side.
He's so good that when we say tight end, we're almost damning him with faint praise, aren't we? Because he can do it all. he's as good as any receiver in the NFL.
Well, that's the deal. He's a wide receiver, just in a bigger body.
Bigger body, a matchup nightmare, and who's going to cover him? When I sit in the film session, I just look at the coach and say, really? Really? You're going to yell at me? You go cover him.
Now the Falcons offense, they get ready to head back out here. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut it.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Pernell McPhee coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
He goes full extension, and he's got it. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains.
When you're a player of his stature, you don't just circle the games on your team's calendar.
The previous
circle
play is under review.
Without a doubt. That's a game that you just figure you're going to be in each and every year. That's because of catches like that. That's why he goes.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player. You threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. Play action. Ryan. He can't avoid the pressure. Redskins get there. Jonathan Allen coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it'll be 4th down. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
That'll be a 48-yard punt, 1 yard on the return. And it'll be Redskins football now with a 1st and 10. Smith and the Redskins will come up now 1st and 10. They start on the ground with Geis. And a short gain there as he'll get it up only to about the 24. Desmond Trufant there making the tackle.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
On 2nd down, here's Smith. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. Well, he's been the guy. Already over 100 yards here in the first half. Could have had a lot more if he would have been able to haul that one in.
Yeah, in fact, our statistician Marvin was already handing me a piece of paper with that yardage totaled on it. He thought that catch was going to happen just as you and I did as well.
And that one incomplete. Had some position but couldn't hold on, and it brings up 4th down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time. Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Man open, that's Calvin Ridley. And he works it across the 25 before being tackled. His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a first down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think...
And he can't escape the pressure. Ryan goes down.
That was their third sack of the ball game. Second in the league in sacks coming into this one. They're planning on making it a race to the top, aren't they?
Absolutely. They're looking up at that top spot, but they might be looking down at the second spot pretty soon. On second down, Freeman. And they won't fare much better here as he maybe gets back to the line. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
And a short pickup there as he'll take this up to right around the 20. The Redskins looking for another timeout, and they get it. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. And it's fielded at the 34. 43-yard punt, but they get 9 back on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Alex Smith and company heading back out there now. He's thrown for a touchdown. He also ran for a touchdown, so they have to count for a guy that can do a little bit of both. And because of that, that puts the defense back on its heels. Because normally you just think, okay, he's going to throw the ball. Let's tee off, put a little extra pressure on him. Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. Touchdown, Washington. Paul Richardson, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Redskins are going to add on to their lead. Well, you know he can be explosive, and he's ultra-explosive there on the fly route.
And you know how many times we've talked to coaches and we've had quoted back to us, well, you know something? When you execute really well, it doesn't matter if they know it's coming or not. Well, sometimes athleticism beats you as well. He just took off and went. That's almost like one of your Turkey Bowl games, isn't it? Just go long, man. I'll hit you. And it worked really well for them.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So out come the Falcons now. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down. Now a play fake here on first down. And the Redskins do get to him. He goes down for a sack.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
On second down, Ryan. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. And he'll be well short of a first down as he's stopped again right at the line of scrimmage. Here's Matt Bosher now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. This is taken at the 23. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. As this unit comes back out there, let's focus in on Darius Geis. The passing game, they've had more success there than the running game. Maybe something they game plan for.
How come they didn't tell us about it?
Because they wanted to keep it a secret.
We did ask, didn't we? But I think what happened in this one is they've realized that they've established the run pretty well, and teams are going to key on that. They thought they could open it up and have success through the air, and that's exactly what's going on.
Yeah, they've had success, at least so far here in the second quarter. The secondary has been roasted in this first half, but they get a measure of revenge there. Nice play on the deep ball.
Yeah, they're going to need a few more plays.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Grady Jarrett coming up the middle, gets him there for a loss of about 9. Third and long, it's Smith. He's going to rifle one deep left side. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock. Here's Tressway now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. Final play of the first half, barring a penalty, as they come up on 1st and 10. And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee. And all right, hang on. We'll jump over halftime. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And here now come the Falcons. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is a real, I'm doing it, though. This is
into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 47. And his guys are going to get the football at their own 47-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days. Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
Now Smith. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And he's unable to grab it. Thought he might have had position, couldn't hold on, third down.
A lot of contact there, but there was no way it appeared that he was going to get a flag on that one. Looking for it, but he wasn't going to get it. And as an ex-defensive back, you love it when they let you play and jostle downfield.
Now a play fake, and it's Smith. Now he'll throw deep left side. So they took a shot there on third down, couldn't get it. Now it's fourth.
Well, the obvious goal is to try and score a touchdown, but at the least, adding to a pretty big yardage total for his intended receiver there, huh?
Yeah, well, when you got a guy over 150 yards, keep chucking it. Oh, the Falcons fly in and they block it. Now, so much for pinning him really deep. Short punt could have pinned him inside the 10. Now great field position the other way.
It's never good when you're punting the ball and your eyes see the ball go back behind you.
No.
In however form, whether it's over your head or to the side, never good. Now it becomes a race to get to the football so they don't pick it up and take it all the way.
They'll try to get the ground game going with Freeman. And he'll get about 3 as he's brought down to the 28.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Now Ryan on second down. He goes underneath to Freeman. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get into him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. A solid pickup of 13 sets him up first and goal.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, But that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Now from the 9, here's 2nd and goal. From the gun, it's Ryan. And that's incomplete. He was looking for Jamison Crowder there. 3rd down here.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. Here's Ryan. And almost intercepted. Would have been a huge pick in the end zone, but as it stands, that brings up 4th.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
And Hauschka's kick is good. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there, because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
The Redskins offense now, they get set to take over here. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team. That their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Yeah, still 3rd quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
Here's Smith. He's going to rifle one deep left side. A fight for the football, and it's intercepted. It's Desmond Trufant, and they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line.
Okay, partner, no surprise to you. I'm going to look at this from the defensive perspective. In the rain, you have to be more cautious trying to cover passing routes. Why? The offense knows where they're going with the football. The receiver knows the route he's going to run. You have to make sure you keep your footing underneath you.
And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 16 yards right off the bat and a 1st down. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you, because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it.
And he can't escape the pressure. Ryan goes down. Zach Brown coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness that defensive line is eating them alive.
He's going to loft one deep. That's caught inside the 20. Touchdown, Falcons. Julio Jones with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Falcons get a bit closer.
So what did you say earlier, my man? You said one big play away from getting back in this game. And guess what? There it was.
Yeah, we talked about it, that despite the scoreline, they were that close on the road, and boom, there you go.
Well done, Nostradamus.
This one taken from the 7. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Now here's the Falcons defense getting set to go again. They're trailing on the scoreboard. Now, they had to watch that last drive, then they come out here. Defensively, when you played, did you like being out there defensively to start the second half or wait to drive?
I wanted to be out there right away. Come out of the locker room, get right back into the flow of the game, because sometimes when you sat around, you liked it when your offense gave you a long drive, but it made it a little bit tougher to get out on the field.
That's the second drive here. We'll see how they respond. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Tack McKinley in there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10. Smith throwing on 3rd and long. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And that is caught one-handed. Oh, my, he pulled it in. It's a big play there for the Redskins on 3rd down. And even 50 yards. Well, it's one thing to grab it with one hand, but when you make a catch of that distance, quite another.
Yes, sir. I mean, that one right there, we keep talking about the high-flying antics that we're seeing from receivers nowadays. Doesn't matter what spot they start in. But when it actually does happen in the heat of battle, brings me right out of my seat.
Here's Smith now on 2nd down. And he's got room. The escapability in evidence there is that one good for 15 and a first.
He's starting to fall into the category of not fair because when he's on target throwing the ball, he's dangerous. But when you add in his ability to make plays with his feet, almost impossible.
Well, yeah, exactly. They've had trouble stopping him in the secondary. This time they've got the great coverage. Oh, he can run too. Under pressure now, and he's going to go down. Sack back around the 8. Tech McKinley in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
That's his 2nd sack of the game, and the best defensive ends, they do their homework as much as offensive guys do. They know how to beat the offensive lineman across from them, what moves they need to do to set them up. This guy's been pretty good at it all game long.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Smith, and he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this 2nd half. Instead, it's 3rd down.
I think someone's going to get into QB1's ear when he gets to the sideline. Already thrown an interception. That one should have been picked. Look, let's just be honest about it. That would be the 2nd person in his ear because he's hearing it in the huddle right now.
Not the start to the game he wanted. Like you said, the pick on the opening drive, 2nd drive, not much better. Decent gain on the scramble to 6, but now it's 4th.
Hey, let's roll. 12.
They snap it to Smith. And that is going to be incomplete. The safety, Keanu Neal, there to knock that one free. Well, you feel the excitement build on those 4th down plays. Defense has to stay out there, but for the offense, when that thing doesn't work out, such disappointment.
It can absolutely be a deflator, but how about the defensive guys? If they stop you on 4th down, they are absolutely elevated going to their bench.
They're elevated now. Big stop on 4th down. They'll try to get forward, but he's going to be stopped in his tracks at about the 3. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Really shouldn't be a surprise. It's going to be hard to move people in this situation. You know they're going to bring the pressure defensively. Because I remember playing in these spots, and my coaches always say, don't be afraid to try and create a safety, too. They're going to bring it.
Back now at FedEx Field. It's the Falcons. They'll have the football, but trailing on the scoreboard as we get set to begin the 4th. Again, they'll run with Freeman. And he's going to lose yardage back to his own 1-yard line. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. The Falcons on 3rd down. They're struggling. 0 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. Freeman again. Oh, and he's not going to make it out of the end zone. The push too strong, and that'll be a safety. So that a double whammy. Not only do you have to give away the football, but the 2 points, that means this is now a 2-score game.
Yeah, and that's tough to deal with, isn't it? This little time left. Those 2 points doesn't seem like a lot, but it means everything now. Those are going to be the ones we're going to look back on. Those 2 points right there, the play of the game.
Charles, you'd said the magic number was probably right around 20 for this defense because they're facing one of the top 5 offenses in the league in terms of points scored. They've had their moments, but this offense just a little too good, isn't it?
They really are, because no matter what you do to make an adjustment on defense, they've had an answer for it.
It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go.
And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Ricardo Allen with a pick. And he'll take this across midfield and inside the 45. two-score game here in the fourth, and that pick, it kind of keeps the door ajar, doesn't it?
It does, and you wonder about their strategy because with a two-score lead, you would think maybe you're just sitting on it and trying to drain some clock. It's almost like they felt like, hey, we've got a good cushion. We can keep pressing it. It ended up costing him.
And his throw here's incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
2nd and 10. It's Ryan again. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here. What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of, otherwise he was going to get sacked.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. They spot it on the midfield stripe, so it is a 60-yard attempt here. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. Back to the ground on 1st. It's Geis. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow him down.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And it'll be a 3rd and about 13. Now Smith, he'll rifle this one deep right side. Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down. Despite the lead here in the 4th, they're still taking shots.
Not content to sit on this lead at all, and to me it raises the question of what's right in this game nowadays. Do you sit on the ball and run it because you have enough of a lead, or do you try and extend it because you always feel like the other team can come back?
Extend it. Have some fun. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And the last go-around for them, they tried that really, really long field goal, couldn't connect.
And in retrospect, I think a lot of people would say, well, why would you try one that long? You hurt yourself in field position, the ball comes out.
Ryan hit, and he lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or moved away from it. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And down he'll go at the 25. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They tackle them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
That'll go as a loss of 5. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. Out of the gun, it's Ryan. And this is going to be incomplete.
So it looked like maybe his 3rd or his 4th read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
Here we go. It's Ryan on 4th down. Looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 42. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line.
Well, you're trailing. It's the 4th quarter, and you've got to throw the football. But the defense knows this, too. So they're just going to sit back, bring in an extra defensive back or two, the old nickel or dime strategy, Brandon, and wait for you to put that bad boy up for grabs. And this one winds up being intercepted.
On the handoff, it's Geis. And little room to maneuver there. He gets it down to about the 39. Tackle made there by Robert Alford. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
Tackle made by Brian Arakpo.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave them with a 4th down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Here's Tressway now. Remember, though, he did have one blocked earlier. Oh, it's a wobbler here. Atlanta now coming out on the field. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And finding the tight end Hooper. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. A good start there on first down. They've got to have this drive.
No doubt about it. Down a couple of scores. They have to find a way to put it in the end zone. Chunk plays, explosive plays. That will be the key to this drive.
Here's Ryan. Ryan hit, and he lost the football. And they'll hit him for a loss as he's back to his 2-yard line. So the sack pushes him back, and now 3rd and long for Ryan and the Falcons. Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Ryan from his end zone on 3rd and long. And he can't hang on to it. Nearly picked. He's known for his hands defensively. But instead it just brings up 4th down. I guess they're in a situation now, 4th quarter, where they're forced to take some chances, but I don't know that that was the type of a chance you want to take.
And that one could very easily have been intercepted, and if it does get picked off, that could possibly...
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by the linebacker, Zach Brown. Then he will bring it back to about the 11-yard line. From their own 2, Charles, they opted to throw it instead of run it. We saw the outcome.
I think what a lot of teams count on is defenses to stack the line of scrimmage, trying to force a safety or force a turnover there. But if you've got a good defensive front, you just allow them to play the run, and everyone else stays ready, and they were, and they picked that one off.
And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. And now a timeout defensively by the Falcons, as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. So they come up on 2nd down, and they can get another run like we just saw. Would likely put an end to this thing. They stay on the ground. Geis again. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Washington. Darius Geis, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Redskins capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone can stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that's leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now because they see them coming and think, we got no shot to beat this team.
This fielded at the 2. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Here are the Falcons as their offense heads back onto the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, Coach.
He can't avoid the pressure. Redskins get there. Preston Smith in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. On second down, here's Ryan. On the catch, it's Crowder. A really nice gain of 25 yards. Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
Swings it out to the flat for Freeman. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and that'll make this a second down. From the shotgun, Ryan. Over the middle, that's caught by Ridley. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. A really nice gain of 25 yards. They'll throw on first down with Ryan. And this is caught for a Falcon touchdown. Calvin Ridley, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Falcons cut into that lead.
And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team. But I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film. But this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
They go for just 1 here as it's up and good. And that will shave 1 more off this lead. And this will be recovered by the Redskins. And that should just about do it. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. The Falcons going to use the 2nd of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 35 seconds left to go. And they will take a knee here. Falcons going to use their 3rd and final timeout, as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go in the game. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. And they'll indeed take a knee.
Listen, anytime you take a knee to end a game, that means you've won it. So it doesn't matter whether it's home or on the road, but there's something a little extra special about doing it in front of your home crowd, isn't there?
And the home crowd applauding. They're happy with what they've seen. Chalk this one up in the left-hand column for a win.
Yeah, that's right. Head to the locker room, throw the wristbands in the crowd for the kids, your gloves, your towels. Get to share it with the home team.
Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these two teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Are you one of those guys that's skeptical about it, or did you trust it?
But when I saw just a big blob of green on the radar, I said, okay, let's trust.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you took my advice. Got your notes laminated, because, you know, open-air booth, that rain can affect us as well, although not as much as the guys on the field. But let's face it, it's kind of fun to watch these types of games, isn't it?
It is. By the way, how